Hello and welcome back to my channel. First thing this morning I was emailing a friend in Spain and just telling her about the glorious weather in the UK at the moment. And the sun was shining and it was a really lovely morning, probably about 9:15 here. When all of a sudden, I just said goodbye to her on the email, when all of a sudden the heavens opened and we had torrential rain, and I mean torrential, it was like stair rods. And I was just saying to Joe, so typical, Saturday morning again, slimming world and rain. I just can't believe, I would say that we have rain 9 times out of 10 on a Saturday morning for group. But never mind, the car park wasn't muddy today, it hadn't rained that much. And it's now back to being a glorious day. So the sun's shining and I'm smiling. I went to group this morning and I'm going to say what I always say. I got the result I deserved because I am so convinced today that, the result I get I do deserve, because it's always a reflection of my behaviour around food. So I've had 2 A choices every day this week and 2 B choices. I've very much been enjoying cheese and biscuits after my evening meal. And I would choose to have a really strong cheddar or a larger amount of feta cheese. And I have the rye Finn crackers, which are 3 for a B choice. So I have really been enjoying cheese and biscuits after my evening meal. So there we go, 2 A choices every day, 2 B choices every day, and I have averaged 10.5, so 10.5 sins every day this week, which is up for me. I generally average between 7 and 9. I aim for 5 to 10, I average 7 to 9. I'm going to touch on that again in a second, but I'll give you my results first. Got on the scales, went along, no fear, no dread, no anxiety, stepped on the scales, and I will take whatever result I get. And this week I lost a pound. So my weight today on the scales was 9 stone 5.5. This is actually a new low for me. I've not been below 9 stone 6.5 before. I am not trying to lose weight. I've said it time and time again. I'm just letting my body find a level. I'm eating really well. I have 3 generous meals a day. I don't do the snacking that I used to do, and that's because I needed to change my behaviour from the compulsive person I used to be. Not because I've cut down. I include my sins in my meals instead of saving them for the evenings or binging on them in the afternoons like I used to do. There's a young lady I watch on YouTube called Ashley Binder, and I have mentioned Ashley before. I've been watching her for the past several weeks now, and she's getting some excellent results. I don't know that I want to bull her up and push her off plan. I'm not trying to do that to you, Ashley. I have been impressed by the results that I've seen because this young woman is working this plan. And Ashley has shared in her story that she's had big weight gains in the past. She's had weight losses, but this time she really seems to have changed a lot of her habits and behaviours. And I've been so impressed and so inspired by following her journey. She's a lovely young woman. So if you're not subscribed to Ashley, go and have a look. Ashley Binder. You'll find her on YouTube. Now, the reason I'm mentioning Ashley today is because Ashley said something, I think it was last week, which I thought was really valuable. I talk about having an average of 5 to 10 sins a day. Ashley will often have between 5 and 10 sins a day. But a really good point she made was, of course you're free to go up to the 15. You don't have to set it so that you can't go over it. So when I say 5 to 10 a day, it made me think from what Ashley said, am I being too rigid? So this week I went with the flow, ate what I wanted to eat within plan, added up my sins at the end of the week, and my average was 10.5. I might have had 13 some days and 9 others. I haven't gone over 15. But I'm not being so rigid with myself. I'm bringing in a bit more relaxation, a bit more flexibility, whilst still being on plan. I did actually comment on one of Patrick's videos in the week and not vehemently disagreed with him, but I know Patrick was asked by somebody, is it okay to have 0 sins? And of course you can do whatever you choose. But I love to emphasise, and I really believe, don't go below the 5. You need that synergy. That's the whole point of the plan. And I did say this to Patrick, and Patrick, very wisely came back with a good answer. And he has spoken to several consultants who've said it's okay to do whatever. But in our group, we don't go below the 5. We really do believe that they're there for a purpose, and that's what creates the synergy. So you've got your free food, your speed food, we talk about having our protein foods and everything else, but sins are a big part of it. And I know on my journey that if I had dropped my sins too early, when I needed to drop them to 10 and below to get the final weight off or to be where I am today, if I had dropped them too early or cut them out altogether, I'd have had nothing to play with. And I think it's crucial. For me, dropping them to 0 is diet mentality. That's only my opinion. People have a right to disagree with me. But from my experience, that's what I would say today. For me, if I drop my sins to 0, I'm back in diet mentality, and I need to be aware that isn't the way to go for me. Okay. Fabulous group this morning was Man of the Year, and lots of people will be sharing about that. I see Charlie won Man of the Year on Jane SW's channel, and congratulations to you, Charlie, really good. We had 3 guys up for it this morning. We had a chap with a 4 stone loss, a chap with a 3 stone loss, a chap with a almost 6 stone loss. They each stood up and told their story, and what inspired me this morning and really resonated with me was the first guy, who is probably a couple of 3 years younger than me, stood up and talked about the fact that he came to Slimming World because one of the things he struggled with was depression. And he found that his depression was linked to the way he ate and the weight he was and the fact that he was gaining weight over and over and over again. And it spoke to me because I can really relate to that. I suffered really, really badly for a lot of years with depression. I've shared on here before that for 14 and a half years I was on maximum dose Prozac, and I needed it, or I thought I needed it. But I wish I'd known then what I could change in my mental state by changing the way I ate. And I think for anybody who's interested in this side of weight loss, there is a plethora of information out there on the web explaining how gut health relates to mental health. And I'm not going to try and teach you anything. I'm not au fait enough with all this stuff to actually be quoting statistics and things. But I would say, if you are interested in looking at the depression and anxiety side of your life and improving it by going to Slimming World, then there's a lot of information out there on the web about changing the way we eat to then change our mood. I think I'm right there, Joe, aren't I? We've discovered a lot about gut health being related to mental health.
Yeah, fiber's a big part of that. Yeah. There's a certain, it's like prebiotic fiber, or is it probiotic fiber that feeds your own personal, like, good bacteria in your large colon and stuff like that, and all that.
So it is worth reading up about, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you want to actually help yourself in that area. And depression is a wicked thing.
Eating vegetables and just whole food, just eating whole foods will do.
The power of good.
Yeah.
It really does. It's
really
helped me. It's really changed my life, changing the way I eat. I'm on no medication at all for anything today, and I used to take a lot of medicines. And as I say, 14 and a half years of maximum dose Prozac, not fluoxetine, I was on Prozac.
Because your body's always looking to heal itself,
yeah.
And you've got to give it the right tools for the job, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, it's worked for me. I'm not promising it would work for everybody else, but it is something worth exploring. And this chappie was saying, his 4 stone weight loss has really helped his mental state. So I found that really encouraging. I went shopping with a friend on Thursday evening, just supermarket shopping, and then we went into the pub afterwards for a couple of cups of coffee each, actually. And we were sitting in these sort of, I don't know how to explain them, they were kind of a bucket chair, but they were a bit more wraparound, so they came quite in at the front, and you kind of went in between the gap to sit in the chair. And we were both saying, before we started our weight loss journeys, as you know, I was 22 stone. My friend is way, way taller than me and weighed more than I did. at the start of her journey. She's a Target member and has been at Target a lot longer than me. But we were saying, you know, if we'd come in here at the start of our journey, we couldn't have sat in those chairs. But we're sitting in them today and there's inches to spare on either side of us, you know, and we were like, it's frightening to think that we wouldn't have fitted in these chairs at one time. And then we started like debating and talking about things that have changed in our lives because of our weight loss, including things like being able to go on rides at fun fairs and all that, being able to fit comfortably in aeroplane seats in her case and things like that. But just silly little things like, you know, when you get in the car and you sit in the car, and I'm one for resting my arm on the sill of the car window, and I realise now I have to put my arm up a lot higher to rest it on that sill. And I pointed this out to my friend and she said, yeah, Jane, and she's not to put it crudely, but your arse isn't as big these days, love, so you're not lifted up. And we were laughing about this, but we were saying how much further back we can sit in a chair today because all the fat on our backs doesn't get in the way. And how much easier it is to just bend over and lace up your shoes today. And we were just kind of listing some of these really, really basic non-scale victories that as you lose weight, you take for granted. And yeah, it was quite an interesting conversation. I might actually sit down this week and just for my own sake write down a list of things that have changed in my life in just those very simple ways because of my weight loss. I was just getting changed after group because I wear a certain top. It was the top I had on my video last week. That's my top I wear for group. And my size 8 Marks and Spencer's trousers, which I am definitely... No, I really want to wear them inside out so somebody can read the label. I can't believe, I don't think I had size 8 trousers when I was 8 years old. But anyway, that's just this pair of trousers, but they're my weigh-in trousers. When I came in from group, I thought, well, I'll just change out of my weigh-in top and put on a different top. So I went into my wardrobe and I'd bought during the week a black t-shirt in Marks and Spencer's. And I went to get it out of the wardrobe and I thought, I'll find it easily enough because there's it's still got its label, you know, its tag on it. So I went along my row of tops, found a top with a round neck that had a tag on it, took it out, cut the tag off, put the top on. Came through and I said to Joe, it's really strange. When I tried this top on, when I bought it on, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, it didn't seem this kind of loose. It must have been because it was a hot day. And Joe went, which top? So I said, the black one I bought on Wednesday. I've just got it out the wardrobe. And he went, Mum, that's not a black top, that's navy blue. All right, could have been pink with yellow dots on for me, couldn't it? And what surprised me was, I turned around and he then said, oh, it's not the top you think it is at all because this one's actually got stars on the back. Now, I remember buying this top probably July last year, and it's from Levi. And picked it up in the Levi sale, it was about £20. Really liked the idea of it, and my friend said, you need to buy it in small. And I brought it home, put it on, it didn't fit me. And I thought, that's okay, I'm still losing weight. This, you know, we're going back 10, 11 months and I'm still losing weight. I will get into that top at some point. Put it in my wardrobe, completely forgot about it until I accidentally found it today because I thought it was a different top. And it's, I would say it fits fine at the top, but at the bottom, I could be 6 months pregnant. It's really like a swing bottom. It'd be all right with cut-off jeans, but it just amazes me to think that 10 or 11 months ago, even though I probably only weighed 9-10 pounds more than I do now, this top would not fit me. I mean, I put it on and it was like as tight as the skin on me. And that's the difference. Just when you get to this stage in your journey, it isn't just the odd pound or pound and a half you lose that makes the difference. Your body really does continue to change shape. And that's what I'm finding at the moment. When I go to put on clothes that I haven't worn since last summer, it's quite astounding how much my body has changed shape and is continuing to. So another encouragement on the way along this journey. It's been really warm this week. Now last week I was saying we didn't walk much because it was wet. This week we haven't walked very much because it's been so hot. And we've also been busy, haven't we, Joe?
Yeah.
So when I totted up my mileage last night, I've actually walked 15.7 miles this week. When you consider that 4 or 5 months ago I was averaging 55 miles a week, 15.7 doesn't sound very much, does it? I'm still adamant that my weight loss and my maintaining a weight loss is not due to my exercise level, because you know I don't go to the gym. I don't do classes and things, because for blind people a lot of those, they just don't work. I walk, and this week we've walked where we've needed to, totted up 15.7 miles, and I've lost a pound in weight. I'm still adamant that the way to lose weight on Slimming World is not about exercise, it's about what we eat. I really do believe that. We've 2 ladies in our group with serious health problems who cannot exercise because they're not allowed to by their consultants, their doctors. They're both losing weight. My consultant lost weight without ever exercising because she had a bad back. And the more I hear about combining, the food and the exercise, I do agree that we actually need exercise. We need to get our mobility, our movement increased. Like stretching is great. You don't need to be running around the block. The stretching is really important, and all of these things are really valid. But I've never been able to rely on losing weight by exercise, and I found that this week again, my walking is way down. Still lost weight, and I'm at target. As of today, I am actually 8.5 pounds under target, which is fine for me. I really don't mind that. Still letting my body work it out. I didn't expect a loss this week. I expected a maintain or a small gain. This coming week, I'm going to actually go for a small gain because I can't keep going down. So we've just been to Marks and Spencer's to do some food shopping. And one of the things I bought was a plain Marks and Spencer's scone. And they're lovely. They're about 13.5, 15 cents.
12.5.
12.5.
12.5 for a scone.
The plain one.
It doesn't say marked specifically, but plain scones are 12.5.
Okay, 12.5 for a plain scone. That's fine. I shall enjoy that. And I'm going to go to Costa later, and I'm going to have a vanilla latte for 8.5 cents. So there you go, 21 cents today. But over the week, that's not going to do me any harm. And I need to be focused more on allowing myself to do things like that. I don't want to get back into the habit of doing things like that every day, because that's when I'll gain weight. But I also don't want to build up a fear of being able to do things like that. I was out with a friend yesterday, and it was a glorious afternoon, and we went into a local park, and we were sitting under an oak tree in the beautiful weather, and my friend said, "Do you fancy an ice cream?" I immediately remembered the last time I had a cornet, I had chronic indigestion. Do you remember, Joe?
I remember rubbing your back, leaning out of the car, and you're, I'm never doing it again.
Yeah, I really want. I am never doing that. I don't
Yeah,
want to feel like that
probably
again.
not.
I never get indigestion these days, and that just about crucified me. So my friend said, "Do you want an ice cream?" And I thought, don't want a cornet. So I chose to have what we call an orange iced lolly, just a plain iced.
Yeah,
Here we call them iced lollies.
we all know what they are.
Yeah, well, no, other areas don't call them lollies, Joe.
Really?
Anyway, I had this orange iced lolly, and I started to eat it.
Put it in the comments, I'm interested. What would you call it instead of a lolly?
Yeah, what would you call it? Sucker. In Yorkshire. No, some places in Yorkshire, when I was a kid, we used to call them suckers. Anybody, put in the comments, what would you call it if it wasn't an iced lolly? Anyway, I had this orange iced lolly, and I'm sitting there chatting away under this oak tree in a beautiful park, eating my orange iced lolly. I got halfway down it, and I stopped. And then it started to drip all over me. And my friend said, "Is there something wrong with that iced lolly?" And I said, "No, I'm full. I can't finish it." And I had to actually throw it in the bin. Now, that has never happened to me. There's a non-scale victory. I actually knew that I was full. And I could not have eaten the rest of that iced lolly if somebody had seriously asked me to.
Really?
No, I had to throw it away, Joe. You asked Nikki. I had to throw it away. I couldn't finish it. Now, the old me could have finished a dozen of them, and the old me would never have thrown anything away. Well, I hadn't paid for it, actually, my friend did. But A, it had actually been paid for, and B, it was mine. You keep your hands off it. But yeah, little things like that today I just find. And my friend, I think she thinks I'm weird. She's like, you can't finish an ice
I'd
lolly.
think you were weird if you did that with me and I paid for it.
Well, I tell her
Sorry.
I owe her for half an ice lolly. But I just couldn't finish it. And I guess that's what it is, to know that when you fall, you fall. Right. One final thing for today, because I feel I'm waffling, is next Saturday will be my 18-month anniversary of being at Target on Slimming World. And something that Joe and I have been doing a lot more of this week is looking at how we cook and what we steam. We actually love steaming food, don't we, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe will actually do his fresh salmon now, wrapped in parchment, and does it in the steamer. And one of the things we steamed yesterday was sweet potato. Now, we would usually bake sweet potato. I would occasionally maybe eat it roasted, but that's adding fat to it. But Joe actually cut it into big cubes yesterday and scrubbed it with the skin on. Cut it into probably, I'm trying to think, I don't do centimetres, 3.5 centimetre cubes. And steamed it for how long? I've forgotten. Was it 10 minutes?
Yeah.
About 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. On our hobs, our rings do like 1 to 6, don't they?
Yeah.
So I got the steamer going on 6 and then turned it down to 4 and stuck them in.
10 minutes. It was absolutely lovely. And I would never have thought of steaming sweet potato. And we steam mushrooms, and as I said last week, and Jane SW picked up from my video, we steam cherry tomatoes. And yesterday we bought some Heritage cherry tomatoes. Can you fetch them?
Yeah.
Okay. We bought some Heritage cherry tomatoes from a firm that we use called Abel and Cole in Hull, and they deliver every week to Nottingham. And we steamed some of those, and there are different coloured tomatoes in there, and they all tasted so different once they were steamed. So what I want to talk about this week is actually encouraging.
I'll hold them.
You can hold them in front of the camera. See the different colours of these tomatoes? Please excuse me.
There you go.
That's because I haven't eaten again. The white ones were really sweet. The orange ones were really fruity. And the red ones I thought had quite bitter skins, but were really nice.
I thought the red ones are quite acidic. And
That's probably the word I'm looking for. Acidic rather than bitter. But it amazes me how different they taste. I don't think there's a vegetable out there that you couldn't actually steam. We steam vitamin D mushrooms and they're gorgeous. So what we want to do to celebrate my 18 months at Target is to offer as a prize next week a steamer. Now, you may already have a steamer, but please still enter, because if you don't want the steamer, you can have a £25 voucher instead. Joe's going to find a suitable steamer on Amazon, and he will link it below. So that'll be the one you get as a prize. If you win, we'll just need a name and address so we can send the Amazon parcel to you. As I say, if you already have a steamer and you would rather have a £25 voucher, that's fine. All we want you to do is list below in the comments box. Please be a subscriber. List below in the comments box, what is your favourite salad vegetable at the moment? Because I'm trying to build up a better repertoire of salad. Okay? So there you are. That's it. Enough said for the week. We've had a brilliant week. We're going to go on. I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to stick to plan, because I know for me it works because I work it. Have a brilliant week, and remember, if you drop a comment below, favourite salad veg, and there'll be a draw next week for a prize to celebrate 18 months at Target.
And
And
it works if you work it.
it won't if you don't. Cheers everybody. Bye.